Bro, and of course we have a mariachi band in the back. I hope that doesn't get picked up. But anyways, we're live. It's the most trash show on YouTube, Garage Goons, and today we have Robert Rubio. And he's a fighter. He's a father, and he grew up out here. So yeah, tell the people about yourself. Let's see. All right. This is take number 2, guys. I'm fucking everything up today. So, all right, let's talk about childhood and just, growing up, what that was like, what kind of kid were you, and, what kind of shit you gravitated towards as far as like sports or athletics or anything like that.
Okay. Well, as a kid, first off, when I was real young, we lived in Gardena through my young years, but about first, second grade, I moved to TO and I grew up from there on in TO. And I was a bit of a knucklehead. I would get in trouble here and there, whatever. Got in a few fights in my day. Got in trouble at school. Nothing I'm proud of, obviously, but it was what it was. And as far as sports, the only really sport that I ever played that I loved a lot was football. That was the only thing I ever took seriously or did as a kid, other than going to school.
What position in football did you play?
I was middle linebacker.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, you just told me that, and I like a week ago, and I for some reason remembered you saying safety, but yeah, no, that's a brutal position, dude.
Fun.
I played that too. Played's a strong word though. I didn't get much playing time. So yeah, that's cool. So did you do that from like freshman year on, or you just
no? I did Pop Warner up until like 9th grade. And that was it. That was the end of my football career. I played like 5 or 6 years though. I played.
Oh, you didn't play? You stopped
just
doing
the
it in
first
high
year.
school?
Yeah.
Why did you stop?
I decided extracurricular activities.
Okay, fair enough.
I went to the high school that didn't have a football team. So.
Oh. Okay, what was that? Apollo or some shit?
It's the continuation school in Newbury Park. The one they closed it down. It was over by the In-N-Out off of N2.
Bro, okay, I'll have something to tell you off camera. But
all right,
yeah, I know some people that went there as well. but anyways, all right, cool. So you stopped playing football in high school, but that was your first love. And then tell me, so we met because we both train at the same gym. How I've been there for I don't even know how long, bro. It's been maybe a year,
at least a year.
At least. How much longer were you there before I got there?
I want to say probably about 6 months.
Oh, okay. So we both met training at Romero Fight Academy in Moore Park. Go check that out, guys.
Shout out Romero Fight Academy.
Yeah, for sure. And you gravitated towards Romero Fight Academy because of what exactly?
Well, okay, so during the quarantine, when everything was actually locked down, I have 2 brothers. They both train jiu-jitsu, pretty high level. They're my older brother's a purple belt, Gracie, and I would go with them and roll in our buddy's garage. He had a pretty sweet little setup, and started to fall in love with jiu-jitsu. So I was looking for a gym for myself. Jiu-jitsu gyms, pretty pricey. If you've ever looked into it, I'm sure you have. They get up there.
It's honestly the last like 3 years. It's blown up.
Yeah.
Fucking Joe Rogan and Jocko and all those dickheads open their big mouth about it. Now everyone with a paycheck wants to be like the next fucking Gordon Ryan or some shit like that. So they're all paying like $300 a month rent money status, at least in California. I don't know how it is elsewhere, but dude, people are paying literally arm and a leg to fucking train jiu-jitsu, which I don't say it like that because I don't like the sport, but it's like, it's so overhyped right now. It's crazy how much money it costs.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. But that was, so basically I didn't end up doing jiu-jitsu. I found a taekwondo gym that I could afford, and I started going there. I trained there for 6 to 8 months. I liked it. I was pretty good at it, but I had never sparred yet, and I was dying to spar. I wanted to see where I was, put my skills to the test. And I was at work one day with a coworker at the time, Alex, who we fight with, goes to our gym.
Did he also train? Sorry, did he also train at that
No.
Taekwondo gym, or he
No,
just?
he had never trained before either.
Oh,
I
gotcha,
was
gotcha.
going to the Taekwondo gym and I was talking to him. I was like, man, I want to fight. Like, for real, for real. I'm going to go to an MMA gym. And he was like, all right, find one. I'll go with you. And then hopped on Google. I found Romero's Fight Academy popped up. And I was like, what? This is right around the corner from my house. No way. Called him. And then a couple of days later, Alex and I pulled up to train there and fell in love with the place. And I've been going back ever since.
Yeah, man, it's a really good spot. If you're in the Conejo Valley area, Moore Park, Simi, Thousand Oaks, or even down the hill, fucking check it out, dude. There's a lot of really good programs. We're one of the only gyms I've been to that has like a dedicated, like actual wrestling coach. There's like a lot of guys that like teach grappling, but they usually come from the other side, like judo, jujitsu stuff. So it's really nice to have like a whole bunch of really good coaches at your fingertips. So you go to Romero Fight Academy, and then you said you were itching to spar. How quickly did that happen, and what was that like when you first did it?
So it happened pretty quick. It was like our, I don't know, second or third class. And I think the first spar I ever had was against Alex. So we glove up and pretty much Romero was like, all right, go ahead. And I just remember squaring up with Alex, like thinking in my head, like, okay, this is it. Like,
yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
And we did our thing. We had fun, but there was this kid, little David at the time, he's a 16-year-old kid, but he's a fucking savage, dude.
Yeah, he's a phenom.
He's bad.
Yeah.
And that kid would just try and knock my head off. He's southpaw and he's really good. And he would just try and knock my head off every time I sparred with him. So
weirdos, dude. I don't trust left-handed people.
Yeah, you walk into that left hand a lot. So for me, it was a little intense at first. That's not what our gym is like. Most of the time, it's not like that. But I'm a lot older than this kid and a little heavier than him. So he maybe felt that, put it on me, show me a thing or two, which he did.
He does that to everybody though.
Yeah.
So you weren't getting any special treatment.
No hard feelings. That's how it goes. I get it.
Yeah. So that's cool. So you got into it. Was there a moment when you like, oh fuck, this is for me? Like you got hooked on it? Was it day one, or did something happen along the way where you kind of like said, all right, no more Taekwondo, like I'm sticking to this is my shit now?
No, it was right away, dude.
Really?
Right away. As soon as that class was over, I went to the back and I signed up for the monthly payments. And that day at the beginning, I was at the gym 5 days a week. I love that place, dude.
Yeah. Now for me it was a little different, like because I have been to so many freaking different gyms, Fight Factory, Blas Ruten's, there's a place, I don't think it exists anymore, but it's called MMA Elite or MMA Masters, something like that, in Agora.
I think they're still around, actually. I think it's Elite.
Out. Yeah. And fucking Scrap Time had a good MMA program for like 4 or 5 years that I was at. So like there was all kinds of gyms around here. So I was kind of like looking for something. I didn't know what I was trying to get back out of it. Again, like if I thought I was just going to go and train, but like when I get into stuff, I like fucking nerd out and like go balls deep. Like, so it sucked me in. Like I told my wife like initially, like, oh yeah, it'll be twice a week. It'll be for my fitness and like mental health. And it was for all those things. But like now I'm like full-fledged back into it, like addicted to it, trying to learn and shit, not just trying to get a fucking sweat. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah. He was really cool about working with me and stuff because I was like honest with him off rip. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to go pro or anything. I'm fucking 32 or 33 years old, however old I was when I got in. And I was like, so, if you can work with me, cool. If not, I understand, and he was down to work with me. So that helped out. That's one of the reasons too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So okay. So you sparred, you fell in love with it right away. You're like, fuck this Taekwondo shit.
Yep.
Dude, it's funny to me, but like at the same time, I can understand a guy looking for a kicking and punching option. Mm-hmm. But it's funny to think of like a 30-year-old dude starting Taekwondo. That's kind of like, that's funny as shit because when I think Taekwondo, I think when I did it, I was like the oldest kid in Taekwondo at 13. Mm-hmm. maybe because I was in the oldest kid in the kids class and like I wasn't quite big enough yet to be in the adults or like good enough. But like,
no, so you're right. So so it was like all older ladies, dude, and like they were pretty good with the taekwondo. They've been there for a while, but like we were talking about earlier, total false sense of confidence. They totally think if some, you know, roughneck in the streets corners them in an alley that they're gonna spinning head kick them, you know, and that's not
full
the case.
Karate Kid mode. Like,
yeah, that's not the case, man. As soon as somebody, you know, turns it on you, and I had known just from prior combat experience through my life, you know, like how realistic all this is going to be. But you know, that's one thing that because the coach there is really good. He takes people to the Olympics. I think he's competed, like he's top
so he's
notch.
legit.
He's super good. But these old ladies in there think they can, you know, do this or do that, and it's, you know, even back then before I started doing MMA, I already knew that, you know.
So let me I don't know, but just a quick question. This is totally like off track, but was it like did you guys train the Taekwondo style where it's like human fencing where you go in and you play tag, or there's two governing bodies of Taekwondo, like the Olympic style? It's like you get in and then like you land a strike and then the round ends kind of thing, or like whoever lands a sequence. Then there's another type where it's basically kickboxing, like inflicting damage using Taekwondo techniques, and certain things are not allowed. Like you're not allowed to throw hooks or uppercuts. Everything must be
straight, linear.
Yeah, unless it's a kick, then you can throw crazy shit. But what style was it?
I'm not sure, man, because it was 90% pad work, you know, and exercises for leg dexterity and whatnot, and it is a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. And I'm glad I did it, dude, because I can do some pretty cool kicks still and do some stuff that
I'm not hating, bro, but just like a grown ass man, like joining a Taekwondo gym is funny to me. But
it was a little silly, you know, with these old ladies, and it was cool though.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, no, I mean, I started in Taekwondo, so I have a soft spot in my heart. I hate when people are like, "Oh, dude, Taekwondo is like the most bullshit martial art." No. It's like,
I love it all, dude. Jiu-jitsu to all of it, man. Unless it's some bullshit, you know, fake shit that'll get you killed, then you know. But all martial arts are great, dude.
Most of them, I think.
Most of them,
yeah. Some of them are a little interesting. Like, fucking, what does Steven Seagal do? What's that one he does?
Whatever it is, it's complete bullshit. That's what I'm talking
about. Oh man, I fucking love Steven. Have you ever? This is so it doesn't matter, but have you ever watched like Steven Seagal talk about himself on YouTube?
Yeah,
it's fucking funny, dude. He'll be like, just straight face, all seriousness. Like, I can't tell if he like believes his bullshit or like if he's just a straight up con artist. But he'll be like, "Yeah, man, you know, we don't teach these techniques because they're lethal.
Yeah.
You know, you can just, but there is one where I get you down on your knees, and then he has this like fucking guy that like gets paid to get beat up by him for demonstrations." Have you seen this?
No.
Dude, it's so funny. He's like, "Yeah, I won't strike the way I would, but yeah, you just get him on his knees like this," and he like bends the guy's arm. The guy just gives it to him, and he just like bends it back and shit like a cop would do. And then he's like, and then you sever the spine. Like, it's that easy.
With a little
sever the spine. I'm like, fuck, dude, this guy, dude. But you know what? My dad loves Steven Seagal too.
A lot of people do, man,
because those movies are fucking the shit.
Yeah,
back in the day, dude.
He's a good actor, you know.
Dude. Anyways, fuck, man. Oh, way off out in left field here. So recently we both started coaching. Oh, before we get into you coaching, tell me about, so you went to Romero's Fight Academy, you started training, started sparring, started getting, tell me about like your first actual fight.
So the first fight I had was a PMT. It was down in like Chino. It was a cool experience. It was just kind of rough because like we went down there, I wrap my hands and I'm warm up and I'm standing there for 7 hours waiting to fight. And then finally already wanted to go home hours ago. And now it's my time to fight.
Yeah.
I did all right. I lost the fight. It was whatever, but it was a cool experience. Just going there, the weigh-ins and like just the whole thing. It was pretty cool. And, you know, I took a L, but I already knew that, I actually had a smoker prior to that, but yeah, that was like my first real like, you know, fight I had to register for and this and that. The prior to that, I had only had a smoker with Alex.
Yeah. Okay. And then just so people know, PMT is point Muay Thai. So it's basically controlled Muay Thai with no elbows and like and no knees to the head. I don't
Semi-contact.
semi contact. Basically, you can get DQ'd if you knock somebody out or hit them too hard or don't listen to the ref. So it's good for like practice and getting different looks, especially against people you've never had
Or your
training against.
first fight. It's good for
First fight, getting used to contact of some sort, and also being in a safer environment than two people just trying to go in a ring and like kill each other.
Yeah.
So it's a good entry level thing. So and then you had a smoker fight, you said too.
Mm-hmm.
That was full contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's video of it somewhere. I got dropped quick, but we finished the fight. It was a real good fight, actually. Alex won.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good fight. We had a nice little battle.
Dude, I need to see that. I want to see you guys fight because I always watch you guys spar and I'm always entertained by it because like I don't know what it is, but you and Alex just have like this unspoken agreement where it looks like you guys just are like, all right, we're gonna go hard today. Every time you guys go against
we
each
just
other.
have fun, dude, and there's no hard feelings. He's my boy like that, so
Yeah.
it's just whatever. Yeah.
That's cool though. So okay, so you got some fights in your background, and at this point you're what, like 3-4 months at the gym?
Yeah, by the time I had the PMT, I was only like 3-4 months in at that point. I already had 2 fights under my belt. I kind of got in a little quicker than I would recommend as far as actually fighting. I feel like maybe had I taken my time a little more, maybe I could have won those fights, but sometimes you learn a lot more from the losses, honestly, than
I think so. I think that it's like having a kid or getting married or whatever. There's never gonna be like the perfect time, all the stars align.
Right. Right.
So like when I tell people is like listen to your coaches. Obviously, if your coach is saying like you're good to go, and like obviously if you're brand new and you're like getting pressure to fight, that's not right. But like listen to your coaches, and if they're saying like I think you're ready and stuff, take it if you want to take it. But like if there's external pressures from anybody else besides yourself, then you're not ready.
Yeah, I agree.
That is pressuring you into doing it.
I agree.
You could also be too eager too, but I think it's better to be too eager and get humbled early on than it is to be like just always waiting for like everything to
It's never going to be the perfect time, man.
Yeah.
Just like anything else, you never feel quite 100% ready. You just kind of got to dive in.
Yeah. So now both of us started coaching. What do you like about coaching? What's different for you coaching and training? Like,
so for coaching, for me, I take it as a huge responsibility because I kind of, these fighters are depending on me for technique and advice and everything else. So I like it. I'm comfortable. I feel I do know enough to where people can learn some good things from me. But it's a huge responsibility, man. I take it seriously, especially when it comes to this fight game, man. Like the last thing I would want is for somebody to be in a situation, try to use something I taught them and it not to work out for them, So it's just, I just, I don't want to fail as a coach. So I take it real seriously.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah. I think coaching, at least on my end, it makes me think about the way I'm moving and what I'm doing more than I would, because it's like, oh, well, this works for me. I haven't been told like, hey, do it this way. So like people that are watching me do it think like it's form and how it looks and how it works is good enough. But now it's like I have to be cognizant of like, okay, when I throw a punch, how am I moving my feet? Because a lot of it's just baked in programming you don't really think about.
Right.
And so for me, it's like it makes me it helps me get better because I have to analyze what I'm doing and what's working and why is it working? Is it working because I'm getting away with it, or is it working because it's a good technique?
Right.
And then secondly, like how I can show it to people. So if I think about it and how everything is moving and how everything is coming together, like, is that like, how can I show that to somebody so that they can basically lock it into their hard drive.
Right.
You know?
Right, for sure. And yeah, and sometimes too on the flip side of that, what works for me or you might not work for them.
Right.
You know, especially styles are different, stances are different. A lot of people are punch heavy, some people kick a lot more. It all depends. But you know, like you always say, meat and potatoes, you know, boil it down to the basics. And you know, when you're showing somebody a technique or certain movements, they could put their little twist or spin on it and make it work for them, you know.
Yeah. That's why like I try to show, like when we're going over, you know, combinations and people ask me, well, what about this? Or like, can I throw that? I always tell them like, this is like, I'm showing you like this look, but obviously if the range is different, fighting is real life. The hardest target to hit is a moving one, and no one's ever going to stand right in front of you and let you punch them.
Yeah.
You know? So like you have to read and react and then do kind of what feels right to you, but make sure that you're protecting yourself as best you can while you're doing it, because it is a fight at the end of the day. And like two people are trying to hurt each other. So like, you know, yeah, I tell people like, you know, I was working with one of the girls in our class that you know, she throws a lot of side kicks and she goes right hand forward. And she was like, well, you know, you're showing me a lot of orthodox techniques. And I said, you know, you can apply all this to the other way around. She's like, well, what if, should I stand the other way? I said, I would never tell you to change your stance or like change the way you stand. But what I would say is if you're going to stand really sideways like that, you know, get more on the balls of your feet and be more static in and out, and don't plant when you throw, because it's gonna be really hard to check kicks like that, you know, and certain things like that, you know, and you see it at all levels. Like in the UFC, like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is very sideways when he fights, and then you also see other guys that are really square that like to box more. So like it works for all different types of people. But yeah, that's another hard thing about it too, is like it's really hard to like try to be putting yourself in somebody else's body and like thinking about, if I were them and had their habits that aren't bad habits,
right,
how would I do it?
Yeah. Right.
So that's like another layer that I'm still right now to this day trying to struggle with, because like you know, we have a couple of southpaws we coach and shit, and it's like hard for me to show them how to move it, because I'm thinking in reverse how I would do it if I was standing the other way, and I never like to fight like that.
Yeah, but like you're saying, man, it at the end of the day, it makes you a better fighter, or at least a better analyzer, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's a skill in itself.
Yeah,
that's a skill in itself.
Yeah.
So like, you're a coach, you're a participant. What do you get out of fighting? What does it do for you?
I like to fight, man. I enjoy it. I don't always like to train, but I will say that I always feel good when I leave the gym.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like, you know, being a little weenie, like, oh, I don't want to go. I have a headache. I'm tired. And then I go and I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad I went.
Yeah.
You know, but I get a lot out of it, man. Besides just exercise and all that, it's a huge release of stress, anger, whatever else, man. It just, at least for that time when you're at the gym, nothing matters except for what you're doing right there. And it's like a beautiful thing in that way. It's like, it's a super healthy, productive hobby to have.
To me, and I think you basically said it, but like for me, I always tell people it's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
It literally feels like I'm getting cleansed of like all this shit that's been piled on throughout the week and all the things I'm stressing about, because at least for me, I'm not good enough to be thinking about other shit when I'm fighting. So like all I'm thinking about is really nice to be able to like fucking have hyper focus on something that I like doing.
Yes.
And it's like church, dude. You like go there and you just feel better after.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
So
exactly.
Well, fuck, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the people?
I don't really have any messages, man. Just, you know, just keep do what you know is right, man. Do the right thing, you know. And train. If you're not training, come train. Pull up to the gym.
Yeah. Try it out, man. If most gyms are cool about letting you check out what they got going on. If they're trying to sign you up right away, that's probably not the right gym for you. That's not an absolute, but like most gyms, like try it out. If you're curious about it, don't wait till you're 30 and try to join a Taekwondo gym like Robert. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, it's super underrated, and I think it's really good for your health, man. So, social media, anything you want to plug?
Oh, just Instagram, Rubio too, if that's where you can find me.
All right, cool. I'll throw it in the description too. So, that's Garage Guns, the most trash show on YouTube. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Peace out.
Yup. Done.